All right, guys, we're on day 3 notes, and in our warm-up, it says find the measure of angle EGC. So E to G to C. Okay. So a lot of people would want to take half of the arc there, but that is not a tangent in a chord, it's a secant in a chord, and so those don't work the same way. But what I do recognize is on the other side of the angle I have to find over here. Okay, this is an inscribed angle, and the arc that it eats is 148. And so I'm going to go ahead and take half of 148, or half the arc equals my inscribed angle, and half of 148 is 74. And so this angle here is 74 degrees, and they form a linear pair here. And so 180 degrees, take away the 74, is 106. And so this angle is 106 degrees that they were looking for. Okay. All right, coming down here, we have interior angles. Okay. There are third type of angle. Okay. It's an angle formed by two chords intersecting within the circle. So when this chord and this chord intersect, they form 1, 2, 3, 4 interior angles. Okay, not inscribed. That's a different kind of angle. Okay, the formula for here is arc plus arc divided by 2. All right, so when you are looking for these two angles here, this one or this one, number one, they're going to have the same measure because they're vertical angles. This is one of the arcs that you're going to use in the formula, and this is the other arc over here. Okay, these are the two arcs that have to get added together or averaged, okay, and divided by 2. If we're looking for these angles here or here, number one, they're going to have the same measure because they're vertical. These are the two arcs that you add together, okay, in order to figure out those green angles. All right, so be careful. There's usually 4 arcs because there's 4 angles. Make sure you add the correct 2. Okay. All right, so in number 1 here, in the accompanied diagram, chords AB and CD intersect at E if the measure of arc AD, so A to D is 70 degrees, and the measure of arc BC is 40 degrees. We want to find the measure of angle AED, A to E to D. So this angle here, a lot of people will say that that angle measures 70 degrees, but be careful, it's not a central angle. Okay, the vertex is at E, not at O. Okay, so what we have to realize is that it's an interior angle and that the formula is arc plus arc divided by 2. Since we're finding the angle, we'll leave that angle equal. One of my arcs is the 70, and if I go the other way to this vertical angle, the other arc is 40. 70 plus 40 is 110, and then we have to divide by 2, so our angle comes out to equal 55 degrees. Okay, so not only would this one be 55, this one would be 55. Okay, the other two, if you wanted to find them, think about a linear pair. 180 take away 55 would make the other ones 125s. Okay, all right. We're also going to talk about exterior angles today. Their formula is extremely similar, except it's arc minus arc divided by 2. And the angle is not inside the circle, it's outside the circle. Okay, this is the larger arc. That's the one that has to always be first. Okay, the smaller arc goes second. Okay, because we're subtracting, the order matters. Okay, and once you subtract those arcs and divide by 2, that's going to be the measure of this exterior angle here. Okay, so let's take a look at number 2. In the diagram below, PA is tangent to circle A, and PBC is a secant. If the measure of arc AB equals 80 degrees and the measure of arc BC equals 100 degrees, what is the measure of angle APB? Okay, so we want to know this angle here. Okay? So because it's an exterior angle, this is the first thing we write down. Formula is arc minus arc, divide by 2. Okay? And remember that this arc has to be the big arc because we're subtracting. Okay? So in this one, when we follow the sides of the angle out, this here is that big arc, and we're missing it. But if you're smart, we can see that circle is 360 degrees. One of the arcs is 80, and the other arc that finishes up the circle is 100. And so whatever's left over has to be the arc that I need for my formula. So 360 minus 180 would give us 180. So this big outer arc is 180 degrees. Now I have to subtract the inner arc, which is 80, and divide by 2. 180 minus 80 is 100, and 100 divided by 2 gives us our angle equal to 50 degrees. Okay, and so that's the measure of this angle out here. All right, I'll see you guys on the back side of notes.